Great Mother speaks to us through us. And in these readings on a collective unconscious level, in the shadows she casts in each moon phase, chakra, variant god, and goddess energy, and seen from The Wizard of Oz and Dorothy's narrative, the poster child of Mama Drama Trauma, as illustrated in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck, based on the 49 scenes of her journey to live MDT free. What is MDT? Mama Drama Trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases when the mother is unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, it is my recommendation as a professional life coach to live in loving detachment. And this is what my work does. I support people in living in loving detachment. This is the most basic, most fundamental type of loving detachment, but it's useful in all phases of our life. For more information about that, you can click the information box below. And if you would like to learn more about this deck and how to work with it to develop your empathic and or intuitive abilities to live in loving detachment, check the information box below where you see how to read deck classes. Each new moon begins a new emotional healing cycle. Here we focus on MDT. Great Mother speaks to each sign about the supportive energies available to it as a collective consciousness and offers guidance for internal activation of this subtle yet powerful support. Look for your special Great Mother Speaks reading, especially for your sign's new moon, to hear how to further enhance the success of your new lunar year plans and wishes. These readings are entitled Sun in Your Moon Sign Readings. Where was the moon when you were born? This new moon, a partial solar eclipse, is on the cusp of Aquarius Pisces. The Western ego, emotion, earth-centric moon is conjunct Venus and the South Node, bringing to light Piscean tendencies to control emotions for the highest good of the group, social network, or friends, assuming one knows what that is. While the intuitive downloads from the Capricorn moon and the Sidereal cosmically correct soul astrology may be bringing up a need to finesse the current situation more to your benefit by shrewdly releasing those people-pleasing qualities unconsciously responsible for creating relationship and group dynamic problems in the first place. For instance, instead of modifying your behavior to prevent a perceived negative outcome, lighten up. Imagine yourself at peace no matter what happens instead. If this seems far-fetched, perhaps you are over-relying on the buy-in and approval of others at this time, and the energies are pointing to a need to redefine the terms of your health, wholeness, and happiness by taking full responsibility for your thoughts, decisions, and actions, dictating the terms of your experience of this birthright. This is what this partial solar eclipse is all about. This Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, new moon energy is dealing with whatever remaining internal MDT issues came up for release during the lunar eclipse, this past full moon reading. They are now externally shining their light in the Aquarius sun and spilling over into your life in ways you are now more equipped to address. Great Mother's lunar south node energies at the Aquarius cusp and in K2, the sidereal south node conjunct Capricorn, gives us poise, grace, and the ability to admit and articulate our most sincere wants and needs to ourselves and others in practical yet loving ways. Because a partial solar eclipse, Great Mother Moon, does not totally eclipse the sun's shadows will not be felt as intensely. Great Father expressed as physical action and material life, the law, the logos, the word, in the masculine sign of Aquarius will be powerfully felt with Mercury's solar conjunction in Aquarius in both the Western and Sidereal astrology, emphasizing the abundance of support available to us all for graciousness, beautiful, and loving communication exchanges. Great Mother is subtle, unseen. She is, in fact, the comforter, the Holy Spirit the Christ spoke of, that still small voice, our intuition, knowing what we know we know. Of course, emotions is how the ego communicates to its higher self, and intuition is how the soul communicates to the ego. Great Mother is the moon, especially this new moon version of the sun and the moon in the same sign, when she is embracing the earth in the blackness of her bosom. To reduce her to only mere emotion is to not recognize her sheer energy of uncontrollable freedom, darkness, and mystery she is within us. That still, unfamiliar, little understood, or even known birthright of happiness, wholeness, and health we intuitively cling to, and why we are here to hear from her through the signs and symbols of this birth moon reading. Taurus Gemini Moon people, we are here looking at the spiritual component to your astrology, and that is your moon sign. Your moon sign is where the moon was at the time you were born, and for you in the sidereal it was in Taurus, unless your sidereal sign is also Gemini. You want to check the links below to be sure, because a fifth of the time your moon sign is the same in the Western and in the sidereal. So why is that important? It's important because in the soul astrology, the ancient Jyotish, we see the soul from a very evolutionary perspective. And it is a lunar astrology that is truly the study of the materialization of spirit. Okay, astrology is the study of spirit transforming into physical form. And that's what we are. People are planets. And it is a more intuitive science. You will hear me mention nakshatras, which are actually stars that govern this energy that is within us. The inspiration, the Great Mother, the Holy Spirit energy that inspires our action. I see the angels are in the middle of your reading, so let's get started. You are approaching this new moon in Aquarius with some great anticipation. Maybe a great journey that you're about to take, or that you want to take. You have left a situation that either no longer serves you, or is a situation that has caused you some pain, some frustration, some disappointment. Either way, with Hathar, the pleasure principle, being the way you're approaching this Aquarius Pisces new moon, Taurus Gemini moon people, you are either running away in fear from the situation, or you are running towards your bliss. This is a new moon card. This is a second chakra card. This is the Goddess Hathar card. This is all about you really deeply on an intuitive level knowing what brings you joy. And with Capricorn being the moon, new moon right now in the sidereal in your 9th house, you are probably downloading from your soul a lot about, really how you're feeling about moving forward from this situation, and how you want to apply what you've learned in moving forward, what is truly meaningful to you in your life right now. And so Great Mother is acknowledging that that's really how you are approaching this new moon. And she's also talking about there being some desire to perhaps learn some new things, and you receiving that intuitively on a soul level. And so definitely whether it's from fear that you are realizing that something needs to change and your life needs to be modified in order to enjoy yourself more, or that you are pursuing your bliss and that in order to truly do it you need to learn the new ways to paint, or you need to learn new, more exciting ways to travel so that you can go to more places and see more things that you enjoy. This new moon energy is really important because of course we are at the beginning of this lunar cycle, and so this is her directly saying to you that it's time, this is the cycle for you to really begin enjoying yourself in ways that you probably haven't before, because your transformational opportunity towards Gemini Moon people has to do with this rebirth that's going on. And so there's been a death, again, a release of something that hasn't been working for you, maybe a disappointment, something, just a relationship, a situation that just doesn't serve you anymore, and you have moved on toward what you want. So the transformational opportunity for you is to just acknowledge that you've moved on, and by doing that you will be taking your power back from that situation. Sometimes we transition from one situation to another, barely taking pause to recognize all the work that we've done to leave circumstances that don't serve us anymore, or to pursue our bliss. You know, it is a wonderful thing to pursue what we're interested in, be it travel or painting or taking care of children. Your passion and creativity, it could be endless, you know. And we often can overlook that even what we enjoy requires some amount of planning, doesn't it? It requires some amount of really thinking things through, so that we at least have a plan for the day, if not for many days. What Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook towards Gemini Moon people is that it is time for you to shine your light. Right across from the new moon, we have the full moon. And so she's saying that in this progression from the new moon to the waxing gibbous moon, just before the full moon, you'll be feeling this rebirth. You'll be feeling this reassertion of your power from moving from one situation to another. And she's saying, don't forget, when that full moon comes, shine your light. You are ready for prime time towards Gemini Moon people. And this has a lot to do with your career, as Aquarius is in your ninth house, okay, having to do with this higher learning, wanting to learn more about, you know, what your desires are and what you are wanting to do to pursue your bliss, or maybe run away from fear. But 10th house in terms of career, with where Pisces is on this cusp. And so maybe you were wanting to shine your light at work, maybe integrating some of this creativity, these desires, this bliss. Maybe now, because you've released those circumstances that no longer serve you, you have the energy to do that now. And Great Mother is saying, hey, shine your light. Use the power of the full moon that is coming up to do that. You absolutely can with this Leo full moon that's coming up. And we are working with these nodal energies because the nodes are connected to the moon and the sun, where the eclipse meets. And right now, for the next year or so, a little bit more, the north node is in Leo, the south node is in Aquarius, and so there is a lot of support for you during this lunar season to release certain things that are related to Aquarian qualities that no longer serve you. Sometimes we can be too people pleasing, okay, and so that could be a situation that you have left in order to embrace your power. Sometimes we, you know, that humanitarian quality of Aquarius can get out of balance. Not very often, because Aquarius people tend to be very forthright, but you know, when we talk about each sign and the energies that they possess, they do have a yin and a yang. And so what we're doing collectively, as a collective soul on the planet, we are releasing those qualities in Aquarius that don't allow us the creative self-expression that Leo is wanting to take us to in the North Node. And so this is very, very important for you with this full moon of selfhood and Brigid. Brigid, of course, is the Celtic, fire of Kildare, of inspiration. She inspired the bards, the great poets of the English tongue. And so that speaking, that expressing yourself, perhaps that is part of your passion, as we see the fifth chakras also with the waxing gibbous moon of death and rebirth, the Osiris Horus card. The angels are with you, Taurus Gemini people, in this process. It may seem that there is not a whole lot of secure plans and directions, speaking of whether it be for a day or for many days. And so you are receiving guidance and support from your angels with this transformation. And this is such a beautiful thing. The angel card has only shown up now for the second time, and this is the last post right before the new moon here, and it's in the center of your reading, which is very auspicious, because the angels support us in living in loving detachment. When we leave a situation or a relationship that no longer serves us, what we want to do is be able to do so with loving detachment. That means that we accept that the season of that relationship, that situation has changed, and even if we are leaving it in fear and we do have some apprehension about our choice, maybe even guilt, we know that it's time for us to shine our lights. And because we might not be very rehearsed at that, we might not be very skilled at that, even though we have a pretty good idea of what that is, the angels help us to live in that loving detachment that accepts the fact that we are where we are requesting the assistance that we are requesting to see ourselves through this rebirthing process. And the angels are right there in the center of your reading, letting you know with the double yin-yang symbol that they are supporting you, both ego and soul, to align and detach from that situation with love. This lunar season is very powerful for you, I can see. It has a lot to do with you just really, really being happy and allowing yourself to shine your light of joy. So what could possibly be your challenge in doing that? Well, we've already mentioned that it could have a little something to do with career and sharing that creativity at work. Sometimes that can be challenging, but the angels are with you. We've also mentioned that it could have a little something to do with, not really having a plan, not really knowing where all this is going. And, that can be worked out too. We have options, and if we're open to them, we can work through that. So let's look at the shadow cards here. The shadow cards are the cards that tell us, or rather shine a light on the shadows. Great Mother speaks to us through this shadows and the phases of the moon, and so this is the darkest shadow of the moon. And so the shadow cards are those aspects of ourselves that we'd rather not admit to ourselves, let alone other people. We'd rather not focus on at all, we'd rather just forget about. And so Great Mother illuminates that for us so that we can embody our divinity in a way that we truly own it, and we own our power to transcend it. Because of course the shadows in this plane of existence, this material realm, are always things that separate us from the reality of the fact that we are gods and goddesses ourselves, just as the gods and goddesses that represent the variant energies of these messages that Great Mother has for us. They're just established archetypes that we're familiar with and we can communicate in some type of language about. But we all are Hathor. We all have Osiris Horus energies. We all have Brigid energies. And so this is just a platform, a nexus for us to connect. And so these shadows keep us from connecting, these fears, these self-doubts, and they're just a part of the physical experience. It's not a matter of, again, the ego being bad, or, we are wrong, or we are sinful. Although that is the popular sentiment in many spiritual corners, the reality of the situation is there is yin and yang in everything, because we are truly the children of the great Mother, Father, God. This is the basis of the work that I do with my clients, for us to understand that we are more than the birth child of our parents. The shadow is showing up for you as the goddess Baba Yaga. This Slavic goddess lives in a wooden shack on chicken legs. A very unique woman, and she is a wild woman. That wild woman energy is coursing through your veins at this time, and you are trying to shut her down. That's the shadow card. Taurus, Gemini, Moon people. This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy and the three leave Oz's castle and they come upon the dark forest, and there's that sign that says, "Haunted forest, I would turn back if I were you," and they didn't. They went past it. That's what Great Mother's saying to you. Shine your light. Go past whatever fears that you may have associated with taking your power back from the situation that you have left, in order to embody your divinity and that pleasure principle in your life. But this is the shadow that she's bringing up for illumination, especially at this new moon time for you. That wild woman, when she's not expressed, she comes out in the most inappropriate times, the most inopportune times. She says the most inappropriate things because she has to be expressed. And so maybe that's part of your pleasure. Maybe you want to dance. Maybe you want to do something that's, really, for you, a kind of wild thing to do, right? You haven't done it before. And this prior situation that may have been oppressive, or it may have, in whatever way, snuffed out your light. Okay, that shade, that shadow, that darkness. It's time this lunar cycle for it to shine. So the shadow of that situation is, let her out. Let her come out and play. Baba Yaga energy is coursing through your veins anyway, but of course we want to do it in a way that it doesn't cause us, the antithesis of pleasure in our lives, so to speak. So let's see what she's saying. You're probably already, it seems like you're probably already dancing with this Baba Yaga. She wants to bring this to your conscious awareness, though, that you're dancing with her already, and you already are dancing with her in a way that's bringing you pleasure, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people. You really already are, and you're having quite a good time doing it. This is the Ra card. And this is the waxing gibbous moon card. That's right before the full moon. So right before the full moon, the shadow that you're dancing with Baba Yaga, that it seems that, contrary to what could be the situation when Baba Yaga comes up in the shadow position, this new moon, you are really enjoying it. She's bringing this up for it to come to your conscious awareness, and for you to be able to really recognize that you're being rewarded for integrating her energy in your life. The Ra card is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when the three received their unanticipated rewards from Oz. They didn't receive what they wanted, but they all received what they needed. And that's what you're getting for dancing your wild woman dance. You didn't know, again, there was no plan about this. You're just kind of going on this path, and that you do feel the angels are with you. You don't have any question about that. Now that we're getting into the shadow side of this, I'm seeing that you're down with it. You down with it. You down with it. So this is wonderful. what Great Mother is saying to release in this shadow situation that you're being rewarded for engaging is anything that blocks your divine expression. This is the law of destiny and free will card, androgyne. The law cards are great father cards. He's the law, the logos, the word, the physical, the spirit made physical in the world. And so this third quarter moon, of course, is after the full moon, and that is the moon of release. And so she's saying release anything in your life. Let go, forgive anything that does not allow you to express your unique divinity. That's androgyne. That is our masculine, feminine selves, the integration of that in our own unique way. Some of us are actual artists that can be named categorically for music or for painting or whatever. And some of us are artists in healthcare. Some of us are artists in how we speak to people. Some of us are artists in how we garden, you know. And so Great Mother is saying that that energy is coming through for you. Now, for you particularly watching this video, your gift has to do with speaking or writing or acting or something of the fifth chakra nature. The fifth chakra is in the center of this card. It's the chakra of this card. And that is the shining of your light in the full moon. The fifth chakra. So it has to do with speaking again. Maybe you're writing something. Maybe you're doing that wild woman dance. That's fifth chakra new moon card. A lot of fifth chakra energy here. And Great Mother is bringing that to your conscious awareness that you are shining your light in that regard. You are sharing yourself with the world. And this lunar cycle is completely supporting you in doing that. In order to release any remnants of challenges that you might have, since it doesn't appear that you really have any at all, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, she's saying that as long as you continue to embody the energy of processing this lunar cycle energy for you, you're going to continue to be just fine. You're just la 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 going along. And remember, the sun is in Aquarius as well. And for you, this is in the area, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, of your 9th and 10th houses, 10th in the Sidereal, because the sun is in Aquarius and Sidereal as well, and the 9th house, you know, in the Western. And so emotionally, again, you know, you are learning new things. You are maybe even traveling long distances and that sort of thing, and you are finding yourself able to actually integrate all of this finally, so that you can express it and speak it, you know, in your life, and maybe in your career, maybe in the wish fulfillment of your soul. Maybe your soul's purpose has to do with oration and sharing your journey, sharing what you've learned. Oh, we need to hear from people who are enjoying life right now. Are you kidding me? We need to hear everything that you got to say. Everything that you're talking about right now, with Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, with no delay. And the angels will help you live in loving detachment with anything that would prevent you from doing that, that would prevent this expression, your unique androgyne expression. How do you meld together those yin-yang energies in your life, in your body? Are you a stay-at-home dad? Are you a work mom who has the yang energy of the house? Are you the artist who can be perceived as androgynous, you know, in some way? How are you expressing yourself to the world to show us how to do it. Show us how to shine our light of divinity. We are waiting on you, and Great Mother is encouraging you with this reading. You know, it just jumped out. I should have known with the angels in the middle up here. starting this reading with you. The final outcome is a heart chakra card in the waning gibbous moon phase. So right before the third quarter moon of this release of anything that keeps you from that androgynous, unique, divine expression, you're going to have an opportunity to really open yourself up and really allow yourself to indulge in this journey that you've embarked upon, following your bliss fully. This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when the three and Dorothy ask Oz their wishes, and he tells them they must bring him back the witch's broom. And the lion immediately jumps out of the castle's window, breaking the glass. He's so scared. And so that heart chakra, that crossroads between the ego and the soul that you have fully aligned with, indicated by the angel's support of you. If you haven't, by this lunar phase, you will. This is the double yin yang symbol showing us ego soul alignment. Okay, a balanced ego and a balanced soul. Androgyne is the double yang single yin symbol. Double yang single yin symbol. That means that you are receiving guidance to let go of things, to take the action of letting go of anything that pervades you from following the law of destiny and free will. That free will of the ego to align with the soul, you have taken the choice to do so. The angels are supporting you in that. And by the end of this lunar phase, you will be opened up to transcend any fears that you may have. Remember, the lion may have jumped out of the window, but he did complete the journey. Just as you are doing, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. You bless me by just, being who you are. Energetically, I can just feel this jumping off of this reading. And I hope you have a wonderful lunar season. And remember, above all and most of all, in all ways and in all things, Great Mother loves you. And I do too.